What's up, guys? For those of you who saw my first video on self-love, you're probably asking, how do I find self-love? What is the process? And the answer is much more in-depth than I can cover in this video. In some cases, it requires an individual consultation, but I will attempt to summarize and give you the basics of how that works. So, for starters, you got to know what is not loving. So, self-rejecting, saying negative things about yourself, attacking yourself, having thoughts that feel bad, limiting beliefs, things like that, right? So the opposite, or the loving thing to do, is instead of self-rejecting, to be more self-accepting. Instead of saying negative things about yourself, find positive things about yourself. Instead of attacking yourself, being more supportive of yourself. Instead of having bad feeling thoughts, you find good feeling thoughts. Instead of having limiting beliefs, you challenge those beliefs and you create new beliefs. And so that's the basic idea, right? You can't stop doing the unloving thing sometimes. It's harder to just stop. But it's easier if you think about when you have an unloving thought, you can replace that with a more loving thought, a more positive thought. And often I hear, I tried this self-love and it didn't work, or I love myself, except in this case I want this thing or whatever. I usually do. Or if you're saying that, chances are you're not practicing self-love. You're just doing it half-assed because you think that you can manipulate yourself somehow by doing this thing that you agreed to do in order to gain something else through the back door, and it never works because really the premise of that is you're still being unloving, right? I don't think I deserve this thing, or I don't think I deserve to be loved, but I'll just do it anyway because I need a certain result. I need to manifest this thing, or I need to get this lover or whatever. And if you're doing that, you're missing the point, right? The point of loving yourself is that that's the most natural thing to do. That's the essence of who you are. And I know that seems very foreign to many of you because you spent so much of your time, so much of your energy practicing an unloving way of being and thinking and behaving towards yourself. So what I'm here to tell you is the transformation is gradual. So you're trying to move up the vibrational scale. If you're at a 1, you're not going to jump to a 10. You got to get from a 1, reach 2. And when you get to 2, then try for 3 or 4. And gradually, as your vibration or your feeling or your love for yourself improves, the next step will unfold. But you won't be able to see it until you're there. And so the proof of how it works over time. You know, you can't act like, well, I did this process and I'm not getting any results. Because oftentimes what you're doing is what I find many people are doing is they'll do this process and then they'll be like, well, I'm still getting the same thing that I got before. Well, all you're doing is you're looking at the same crap that you're doing and you're using that as proof for why you can't be better. And I encourage you to check out my other video about the residual effect of law of attraction. I'll post a link below for that. So it's pretty much that's it. You just gotta decide and commit to yourself that, look, I know this is a pattern that I have. I'm aware I have this pattern of doing, behaving, acting in a negative way towards myself. And I'm going to make an effort to replace those habits with more positive habits. So, for example, you're trying to make friends and you say to yourself, I'm not good enough. Nobody will like me. I'll never find anybody. Whatever it is, right? So you can say, hey, look, I'm getting better at this. I'm worthy of finding friends, and there are people who will like me, and I will find somebody someday. right? So it's not about lying to yourself, but it's about flipping it to a slightly more hopeful idea or feeling. If you do that enough, and you continue to have love and compassion and understanding for yourself, you'll eventually get there. But the only thing you can do is commit to doing it, because the alternative is to keep doing the same shit you're doing, which is, how well is that working for you, right? So, I assure you, if you stay on top of it and you do it every day, and I mean every day, it's not just, I'm going to do this for a little while until I get the result that I want. It doesn't work that way. Self-love is a lifetime process. It is the most natural thing to do. Once you understand what it is, you're going to wonder why you spent so much time resisting it. Alright, so if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, love to hear about it. Thanks for watching.